I would like to tell you that I will be speaking in Arabic to have a good understanding with Mr. Speaker. You are very welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy to welcome you to this forum to discuss the situation in Iraq and in the region which impacts our country. We are very happy and lucky to have a personality with us who is always frank, a man who never hesitates to bravely express his views, and he always expresses what he feels and thinks. He is Mr. Mahmoud Mashhadani, the Parliament Speaker of Iraq, and who also left his uh, job to join politics and serve Iraq after 2003. When he speaks, he does not try to appease to anyone. He always makes bombshells with his statement. He used to be a deputy parliament speaker before. I will not like to give a lengthy introduction. We have agreed to give Mr. Mashhadani more time to express his views more accurately and more deeply. Mr. Speaker, you know that the region is going through political earthquakes. How do you see Iraq's role here? What are the main challenges facing Iraq, and how could they be addressed? We have many challenges facing us. Are we good enough to face them? In the name of God. Mr. President of Iraq, Mr. President of Iraqi Kurdistan region, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you and welcome. Your question is a very good one. The main problem facing Iraq now is that Iraq is still facing and suffering from the impacts of the 2003 invasion of Americans against Iraq. It was supposed to, as we were told by Mr. Mam Jalal, whom we miss very much. He said there was an agreement to there was an agreement so that after the fall of regime there would be a democratic state. But the invasion decided like a sheikh does. When he was told the head of the bull has been stuck in a hole, how could we take it out? He said, break the head and cut it, it will be soft. So they broke and cut off the head. This is what happened to Iraq. And the decision was given to the opposition, and the opposition was comprised of many political forces. I was in the prison at that time. I was imprisoned by the former regime. زور يعني والله بس هو هنابيتن يعني مناطق مترجمي تانياش بين يعني بدي كسك بني هي بكري إذا من ليرة براسي نايتو بيستون ليرة بون هيك إسا موصل and we were not giving space to rebuild Iraq after the invasion, but the door of the hell was opened to us. Baghdad faced many explosions, and what country could face this systematic terrorism? Many states were trying to terrorize Iraq until we got a relief in 2010, which continued for 1 to 2 years, and then terrorism came back. The terror of ISIS, the western parts of Iraq all fell into the hands of ISIS, and then we started the process of liberation, which continued until 2 years ago. After the terror was ended, we tried to build Iraq and give a good image of Iraq. And now we are convinced that sustainable security needs a sustainable economy and prosperity. I can now say Iraq has now security and a good economy, and has been successful in availing itself from the struggles in the region. And now Iraq has its role to play on the stage of international conflicts. And now the economy also is trying to get up to unprecedented levels. Iraq as a state contains 1,423 minerals that can be invested in. The richest governorate we have is Anbar. All of our economy will depend on what is hauled beneath our feet. The second richest governorate of Iraq is Samawa. So Iraq is a treasury of energy. That's why all the world, including the US, the UK, should try to keep Iraq stable security-wise and politically-wise. Do you have experience and expertise so that you can utilize this energy? Now we have a huge diaspora outside Iraq. Have you benefited from this? Let's speak about expertise. We have one basic principle. The state should depend on its own people for expertise. And political parties only serve their supporters. So if this formula goes on, the rebuilding process will be late. And those relations with political parties, among political parties and between political parties and their supporters, have too much corruption. But now we have decided that every district should have its authority selected based on their skills and abilities. And we should prevent more migration of experts of Iraq. There are many critical issues in Iraq. How can the parliament have better surveillance and better supervision over these issues? The third years, it took us 1 year to select the parliament speaker, and this year we are going to have elections. I suggest we have 3 communities: a legal community, another community for transparency, and another community to compose a report. We should stay away from discrimination and from divisions, so that we can work with the aspirations. The Iraqi parliament, which still exists of one chamber, represents the people of Iraq. When the parliament represents the citizens, it means we defend and we speak for all the citizens of the country. And that's why we have always insisted that the salaries of the Kurdish citizens should not be brought into political struggles between the parties. And if there are problems between the 2 governments in Baghdad and Erbil, They should be solved according to the institution, to the constitution and law. According to the latest statistics, the Kurdish people consist 15% of the population of Iraq, which is different from the 17% that was thought before. How can this affect the coming budgets, the future budgets? The census delayed a lot. Iraq is going to be part of the changes that are happening in the country. I don't think you will be protected from the political storms from here. How can these struggles between internal parties affect Iraq's role and future? You as Dr. Mashhadani, not as the parliament speaker, how do you think? If you can repeat the question. The ongoing changes and dynamics in the region. Is Iraq able to get changes, to achieve any changes in its political system without putting the country in danger? Iraq has a democratic system. It seems strange to me. We should always protect the democratic principles. If we protect our democracy, we will always be stable, a stable country. Everyone should be given his own right based on the election results. We survived from the COVID pandemic. Whoever survives COVID have immune. Whoever survives the pandemic have a stronger immunity system, and Iraq has survived such pandemics since 2003. We have a federal system. We have chosen to stay with each other. So we should work together. When I come to Erbil and see Erbil has progressed a lot, I get happy because it's a part of my country. And when I go to Basra, to Karbala, Anbar, or any other places, I become happy. Iraq is now stable, and it will be even more. It will see more progress because security is available, and prosperity will follow it because we have a treasure of energy and can be used to serve the future generations. And now we are trying on industries and agriculture. Do you think the government is capable of utilizing the natural resources, or do you think corruption and monopolies will be obstacle? I think rebuilding and healing is still going on. We need 2 more years to get on the track. If we could go on this security and stable conditions, if we could draw investment into our country in this industry, and if we could invest in our agriculture, it will save the government. Do you think the next election will change the political situation and system? The new law has not been ready yet. It's spoken about, but it's still not ready. And there are many drafts. We should try to get together and work together to prepare something for everyone. Is it ready or not? Not yet. We are still working on it. We are still working on it, and it's not ready. It's not cooked yet. I think the uh, the role and opinions of Sadr's movement is very important. We should always take their opinion. You know the reasons. You have good relations with Sadr? Yes, of course. I have good relations with everyone. For the first time, we could unite all as Kurds, Arab, Shia, and Sunnis to form a new parliament in a very difficult situation. But everyone was agreed on the parliament that we have today. What will happen to the three drafts? I use all my experience. I use all my visions and all my thinking about Iraq in my job. I have done this. We should not work against the internal system of the parliament. So we studied the drafts one by one, uh, article by article. We saw some articles which were not in line with the law and refused them. Who are the parties who worked with the federal court to fail these drafts? It's those parties who are trying to prevent the agricultural agreements. My strategy in the parliament is to support everything that comes from the government, as long as it's not illegal, as long as it's not against the constitution. When the government sends something to the parliament, it means the government needs it. First, we should work on ending internal struggles among ourselves. We should have unity so that our problems can be solved. And we should reduce the impact of other states on Iraq and prevent any voids and get the support of the people and public opinion. Without their support, you can do nothing. This unity that we have now will be put in the test in the coming election, which will be a very important test. We should either unite as Iraqis and not let any void or any impact from any state, except if it's in the interest of Iraq. And we should have balance and good relations with every political forces, whether it's from neighboring countries, from Europe, Arab countries, or the United States, which is the main actor in the world stage. We should have good relations with everyone. Without these stable relations, away from provocations, we cannot provide internal peace, because our peace is not away from the impacts of the outside world. The map of Iraq has already been drawn. What we should do is to work with our surroundings. We should not interfere with other people's interfere, and the others should not interfere in our affair. But now they do. Iraq is like a bird with two wings: Arabism and Islamism. We in Iraq have different components. Where are we, the Kurds? Iraq, in its geographical states, we have a part of the geography Shia, and we have Sunnis, and we have Arab neighbors. If one of the wing is not working, the bird cannot fly. That's why if you don't work in balance, you cannot progress. You should work with all the countries, with the Gulf, with Arabic countries, and other countries in the neighborhood. They could help us to invest in our natural resources in Kurdistan and Iraq. We believe that the rebuilding of Iraq can be done through investment. Do you want to say anything else? I just want to say the conspiracy that was put against Iraq was to divide Iraq, but they did not notice something very important. Iraq is like H2O. How can H2O be dissolved? It cannot be. If you want to divide Iraq geographically, you should divide it socially, and they cannot do it. All the clans in Iraq have their own uh, religions and their religious views, but they coexist. We were successful. To summarize this, we reached to the outcome that when the six governments fell into the hands of ISIS, we asked what was the reason. Was it because sectarianism? And what should we do after that, after ISIS? How can Iraq be kept safe from ISIS? So the outcome was Iraq will not be stable as long as it changed from the state of components to the state of citizenship. And expertise should be the only measure. This is the only way to have sustainable peace and stability in Iraq. The public of Iraq does not want sectarianism and divisions. And if we do not change and transition from political parties based and compromised of sectarianism to compete over serving the people, we will not have stability. I hope you get benefit from the experience of the Kurdistan region, and if the problems are not solved yet, the future will not be good, and the ones following you in the power will be worse. I wish Iraqi authorities will get benefit and use Mr. President's experience, because what was made in Baghdad and what we see from Baghdad the Iraqi Kurdistan region president is very beloved to us, and he is very handsome. Whenever he has come to Baghdad, he has always got what he wanted. That's why I always insist that this engagement should continue, and we do not have divisions. Mr. Prime Minister comes to Erbil, and Mr. President Nechirvan Barzani comes to Baghdad. All are welcomed. If there are problems, we should directly face it and solve it. Thank you very much, Doctor.